All right, hey, welcome back. Today we're going to be looking at creating a simple effect. We're going to do an animated GIF. It's a pretty crazy effect, but we're going to look at how you can use adjustment layers to do some pretty fun things in our animations. So go to bit.ly/GIF-rainbow, bit.ly/GIF-rainbow, and download the file. Once you get that downloaded, come on back and open up your file. Let's see, my magic desktop full of garbage. There we go. All right, we're gonna take this picture, and I picked a kind of a colorful picture here. Isn't that cute? Look at that cute little boy. Look at him. And we're gonna make this kind of change colors. This rainbow change colors here. So you want to have your timeline open. Go to the window menu, pull down to timeline. And you want to have it set to frame animation. If your button says video timeline, you want to click this little drop-down menu right here and change it to create frame animation. And once you have create frame animation, if you want to, you can go ahead and click that button, and you'll be ready to go once we have our layers created. Okay, so start with your picture here. Go to your adjustment layer menu. That's this little kind of half black, half white circle down here at the bottom of the layers panel, and choose hue saturation. And take your hue slider all the way to the left, just like that. Now we're getting some weird pixelization happening. If that's annoying you, you could bring your saturation down and it'll fade some of those pixels out. But if you bring your saturation down, you're going to lose the color. So, you know, GIFs were not really meant to be beautiful, gorgeous works of art. They're meant to, as far as I can tell, be really annoying things on web pages that you wish would go away. Or annoying things that you message to people. So here we go. Let's do it. You got the hue all the way to the left. And come back over here to your layers panel and just duplicate your adjustment. A great little shortcut for that is Control J. Control J will duplicate your adjustment. And then take your hue from -180 and bring it, let's do, I don't know, let's do 30 at a time. So what did that, about -150. All right. And then we're just going to keep doing that. Control J, -120. And then Control J, -90. Oh man, you guys are going to have to hear me do math out loud. Control J, 30 less than 90 is -60. Control J, that would be -30. Oh my gosh, I should have done 100 at a time. Okay, where are we at? Control J, this one should be 0. Control J, now we're going positive, so that's +30. Control J, this would be +60. Control J, 90. Control J, 120. Control J, 150. And you don't need to do 180 because 180 is the exact same as -180. So we don't have to do that last one there. Okay, that's a lot more adjustment layers than I needed. But hey, it'll get the point across. All right, now we're ready to create our animation. Come over here to your timeline, click on frame 1, and turn off all your hue saturation layers except for that first one. Now, you go here to this little sticky note looking icon right here down at the bottom of your timeline next to that trash can. And you mouse over it, the little tooltip tells you duplicate selected frames. So click it and then frame 1 and 2 are going to be the same. What you want to do is you want to come over here and you want to turn off your first layer and turn on your second one. Okay, so this is your first hue saturation off, second one on. If you start to lose track along the way, these numbers line up, right? 1 is your first hue saturation, 2 is your second hue, like that. Okay, so now we just keep going, duplicate the frame, off 2 on 3, duplicate, off 3 on 4. You get it. Go ahead and do this with me here. Off, on, off, on, off, on, off, on. You can see why I should have done like every 60 would have been cute. Off, on, just so you don't have to hear me keep saying off, on. Okay, so we got 12 frames. That's not too bad. We got a 12 frame animation. If you hit play, oh, that doesn't look too bad. I'll do it again. Hey, now it only played one time. Down here in the bottom left, we can change that. It's set to once. You can set it to as many times as you want by going to other, or you can say forever. And most animated GIFs play forever. So let's see what that looks like. Kind of nice. There's a little bit of a hiccup where it restarts. No, I lied. There's not. It's beautiful. It's beautiful, smooth rainbow. Look at that. Oh, so cute. Okay, it does certain colors. You get that kind of pixelated look to it. There's nothing we're gonna do to fix that. Okay, so it's going nice. Now this is set to 0 seconds. If you watch one of my other videos, you'll see that Photoshop is slower. Once you get it saved as an animated GIF, this thing's really gonna book. I'm actually gonna slow it down. I'm gonna go click on frame 1. I'm gonna hold down Shift and click on frame 12 to select all my frames. And then I'm going to change it 0 seconds to 0.1. That still might be a little fast, 0.2 or even well, not 0.5, but maybe 0.2, but we'll go with 0.1 seconds. Okay. And then, let's add some sort of a message to it. So make sure you're on your top layer here and then go to your type tool. Probably white is going to be our color of choice. I don't want the type to change color, just the background. So white I think will work nice. And then I don't know what should it say? Have a nice day. Have magical. Oh yeah. Have a magical day. And then now here's the thing. You want to put this where you want it, and you want to highlight it. You want to change your font and your size and anything else you want to change, like the leading might be nice to kind of get this a little bit closer together by changing my leading here. Make any of those changes, get it exactly placed where you want before you hit the check mark to lock it in. Okay, once you get it there, hit the check mark. Whoop, and you see it'll add it to all of your frames. And it did that because of this setting, which is usually automatically set for you. New layers visible in all frames. If you did it and it only popped up on one frame, undo and go set this. I should have told you to look at that first. Sorry. Go to this little menu right here in the corner. New layers visible in all frames. So you make a new layer on top and it adds it to all your frames. Now let's see what that looks like. Aw, I love it. All right. So now we need to save it. Okay. You can make other changes too. You can add whatever you want to it, but this is our simple GIF. Go to File, Save for Web, not Save or Save As. You got to do Save for Web to save the animation. Save for Web. And it takes a second to load up here. And then the Save for Web dialog box pops up. Now, look at this size down here. 1.5 megabytes. That's kind of big for a GIF. And look at how dotty mine is. Yours probably isn't. And yours is actually probably really big because your colors are probably set to 256. At 256, we're up to 2.6 megabytes. Now, with today's computers and phones, that's not that big of a deal. It would load just fine and play for you. But if you got a little bit of a slower connection, you might have that situation where you're sitting and staring at it, waiting for it to load, And you know, people are impatient. They're going to stare at it for a second and go, moving on. So we need to make it so it's going to load faster. Okay. One thing that we can certainly do is this image size is really big for a GIF. You can see here, if I hit the minus button, you know, zoom it out, there it is. Let's shrink that down to 400 pixels wide is certainly all you really need for an animated GIF file. So I'm going to go down to 400 and hit enter. It shrinks it there. I'll put my zoom back up to 100%. So that's still pretty nice, 100%. There it is. And my file size, look at that. That was a huge savings. I went from like almost 3,000 down to 539. That's much nicer. Now, if you want to go even smaller, you can change the size here, or you can change the number of colors. Now, a lot of times changing the colors doesn't make much of a difference. With a rainbow, though, I feel like chopping it down might make a difference. Now, 128, 256 down to 128 probably doesn't look very different. You know, that still looks nice. It gets a little crazy up in the greens and the yellows here. Otherwise, 128, you could, and then that saved us about 100K, 80K that we knocked off. I'm probably going to stick with 128. If you want to go back to 256, it's not that big of a deal. Yeah, it doesn't really look that much different. When you start getting down to like 32 colors, though, you really get that dottiness in there. And you know, that's not that great. If you want to get rid of the dottiness, you take the dither down. If you take the dither down, then you get weird stuff like that. So, you know, I'd probably leave the dither at 100% and put your colors around 128. And that's a really nice size. 450, that's a really good size. And then when you're ready to save it, you hit the save button right here. And you get a choice of format, images only or HTML and images. HTML and images, that used to be something that you would do when you made a website. We never use that anymore. Just do images only. Give it a name, rainbow, that's fine. Save it on the desktop. Now, before we quit out of this, let's go test it. I'm going to go to my desktop here. Where is it? Right there. And I'm going to open this up. Oh, it opened up in my photos. Bring that over. And that looks really nice. That's that 0.1 seconds. If it was going too fast, sometimes you do something and it's just like going, it's like flying. You could go back and you could slow it down a little bit, but that looks nice. That's not going to give anybody a seizure. Cool. Looks good, guys. So that's it. You can hand that in as a rainbow. Make sure you put your name on it, and you'll be good to go. Nice work. See you next time.